Hey everyone, I'm here again with Z, and Z has hypermobility. We did a little bit of a practice in standing. Z, how does it feel to be on the floor?
Lovely.
Better on the floor, right?
Much better on the floor.
So remember that we're working with a sensory system as well, so we want the body to be as comfortable. So the whole purpose of body sensing, in terms of one of the principles, is to find what feels easy, what feels comfortable. And in this practice, I want to share with you this idea of pandiculation for integration. So no better person to work with than someone who has kind of discomfort with hypermobility. So let's explore a couple of options. So Z, if you can just allow your body to rest. If there's any way that, and you can let me know if it's not at rest. And what I would encourage you to explore is any movement that your body wants to go into to just get comfortable, even if it's, any kind of self-adjusting movements that you feel. If you feel that you want to bend your knees, or you want to stretch your arms above, or stretch to just that kind of restorative feeling, you could go into that as well. So always allow your student or your client to experience what's happening, and let the body kind of just, have these few coaxing movements, calming, soothing movements. And really listening to the body from within. And you'll notice how there's been a spontaneous sigh, so it tells me that, okay, the nervous system is coming into calm. Okay, so from here, let's do 2 ways of moving the body. So one movement, 2 different ways. So could you bend your knees and come into standing into your feet? So just with your knees bent. Yeah, just resting your feet here. Notice how the body changes a little from that. Okay. And from here, if you can take your awareness to your shoulder girdle, the areas around your arms, where could you move your arms? They could stay where they are. Is there a way you could move your arms to a place where you feel more space around your neck and shoulders, where it feels more open? And could you notice what it feels like with your palms turned the way they are? And then if your palms were facing upwards, would that make any difference? Maybe you'll see, maybe not in this body, or maybe it will. So I'm going to check in. Is there a difference here, or does it feel the same either way?
There's a huge difference with the palms up.
Okay. And tell me anything that comes up. What's the difference for you?
There's less tension going from my arms up into my neck. And also it's just a feeling of surrendering.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
so again, there are patterns that I work with within the biotensegrity model. So we're looking at the bone rhythms of the body as well, and how to find that whole body anatomy in terms of movement. So can we begin with your knees just dropping from one side to the other, in whatever way it arrives? And continuing with your own practice in this way. And as you're continuing with your practice, just to explore how your whole body is responding when you drop your knees from one side to the other. Is there a response? Just notice that. And if you can come back to where you were and pause for a moment. The next time you go into this practice, could you add a body yawn, so an expanding sensation, as you're moving? So every time you move, could you allow your body to experience an expanding sensation? Whatever that means for you, I'm curious to see how that arrives. So as you drop the knees to the side, does expansion mean, I'm noticing the language that I'm using and what that means for Z without trying to direct. So, and as you continue with the expansion, where does the expansion happen for you? Is it from within your body, or noticing whether it's coming from within?
That's the big question.
Yeah. So just take a moment to notice.
I feel like as a dancer, you always, speaking for myself, I'm now thinking about what is correct, and not what feels right. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I'm just hearing, exploring, listening, connecting with what you're saying. I'm curious about it. So yeah, whatever that is that arrives for you. So what would expansion mean for you as a dancer?
Opening up.
So could you show me that? So if I asked you to open up as in your dancing and notice what that expansion feels like. And I noticed that I'm noticing how your breath is integrating with it as well. And if you can go there again, just noticing what expansion means for you in a dancer's language. And as you continue with your practice, could you let expansion happen from within your body? So if your body was like a balloon, can the expansion happen from within? And notice if that language makes a difference or not. It's just a suggestion. If you pause there for a moment, did that happen on an in-breath or an out-breath?
I have no idea.
That's okay. That's great.
An out breath.
So that was an out-breath, yeah. So if you can pause there for a moment. So what would it mean for you if I asked you to expand your body from within, like a balloon? What would that mean for you? So as you drop your knees to the side, can it be like you're yawning and stretching for the first time today?
Yes.
And continue with that practice. So a body yawn, it's like, oh, I'm just waking up for the first time, and add that sensation of pandiculation, the body yawn. How much can you expand? Where does the breath arrive for you? And the next time you move, could you find that expansion again? When you expand, how does the breath come into your body? Can you let it arrive completely? And then pause there. So you exhaled here, which means that the breath is no longer there. So that's a different experience for your body.
Yes.
Okay, so come back to your center and just take a moment to rest and come into sitting for a moment. And just to share with me that experience.
That was difficult. Difficult to move from within without thinking about where I need to end up. Or knowing where I need to end up and putting my body there instead of feeling my way there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, great. So that tells me, gives me feedback of what your experience is. So let's explore a different approach to this pandiculation or body yawn. So if you can take your awareness to that feeling of waking up for the first time, and can you just explore and experience that yawn experience? How does that arrive for you?
So difficult.
Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. We can go in a different way. So can you go onto your hands and knees? Find the floor with your hands. And if you were to sit back onto your heels as if you're sending the floor away, could you let the yawn arrive as if you're stretching and yawning for the first time today? And let the yawn stay without releasing it. And then come back again. Okay, so in a yawn experience where you could say that the yawning through the mouth, there's three parts to it. There's the urge to yawn, there's the pause, and then there's the release. Could you find that in your body? So imagine if you're yawning your whole body, how much of air comes into your body, and then there's the release, right? And if you can continue with the yawn practice, so you could even stay there and continue experiencing that sensation. What might help? Yeah. Pause there, pause on that second phase of the yawn as much as you can, and then you find the release. Great. Could you bring your hands a little bit closer to you, even closer than that. Almost all the way to your knees. Okay. And if you can send the floor away from here and try a body yawn from there. So coming off you can come off your heels and now press away from the ground. And feel that expansion in your body and then the release. So remembering, rather than going down and up, could you just go into the body yawn? Whenever it arrives for you. Really find that expansion until you can't take any more breath into your body. Can you get into your lower spine with that expansion? Pausing there and then releasing. Okay. And then come and sit back onto your heels.
That felt really good.
Yeah.
I think the fight now is between expansion and the stretch. Because we're taught to stretch our muscles. You're taught to stretch through and put your armpits on the floor and stretch into that. It's just a different feeling.
Yeah.
It's just having to not think about the stretch and feel it.
So could the pandiculation replace the stretch?
Absolutely.
And if you can describe the difference between a stretch and a pandiculation, what would that be?
The pandiculation feels like melting almost.
Yeah.
And a stretch feels like a pulling.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can feel the pull. And for a dancer, that's the thing. That's like, oh yeah, oh my god, oh yeah, lovely stretch. And I think that's the battle between the body yawn and stretching. So in my mind, my body goes immediately into the stretch because that's where I know where to go, and that's what I think is comfortable. So it's just an internal.
Yeah. So I have a question, and it's around. Yeah, I have a question around what feels whole. So could you go to both those, what you're used to doing in terms of stretching and pulling, because a stretch will pull the tissue at the end, which is damaging the ligaments and the whole fascial tissue. It's pulling it. And the other is hydrating it. It's expanding it. So if you could explore those two movements again, so the stretch and then the body yawn, and I'm just curious to know, and this is coming to integration, what that feels like. So if you could go there once more. So let's do child's pose that you're used to.
So this would be my stretch.
Yeah, if you could, whatever you're used to doing, can you go there? Okay, so this is great to see how someone with hypermobility loves being here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It feels good. It's a different feel good. So taking this and noticing how the body feels here in relation to integration.
It's sore.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's supposed to be sore. But we're conditioned to believe that sore is good.
So kind of stretching out as much flexibility,
yes.
Right? Okay. So could you come out of that? So I don't want to keep you in soreness. And can you find the body yawn? So I'm going to talk you through the body yawn once more. There's 3 parts. The urge, and you could perhaps, because you're used to taking your arms so far away, could you bring your hands closer? And even perhaps come up off your heels. Yeah, like that. Okay, so now can you go into body yawn, taking your awareness to your inner body and finding that, and can you take your attention to your lower spine for that expansion? You could sit back as well if you want. It's kind of the sense of sitting back. And can you find the expansion from within? Without breathing out, but just staying with the yawn, the second phase, and then the release. And then letting go. And could I ask that instead of breathing out, can it be a sigh as you release? So I'm going to continue with this practice just a couple more times to get to really find the way to do pandiculation. Finding it in your inner body. Where are you expanding, and can the balloon expand as much as you can, pausing at the end. And the sigh. Wow.
It makes such a huge difference.
Okay.
It's so frustrating for me. It's an uncomfortable place to be in.
Yeah. So that's good that you're sharing this. Are you okay to share what that means for you in terms of? So we did the child's pose with the soreness of that movement compared to this. So the first question is, when I say integration, which one feels more integrated for you?
Definitely the body yawn. like no doubt about it, but it's not comfortable for me. I struggle to feel it. It's so frustrating. But it's also just because I know that my conditioned self knows only to go to the stretch.
Yeah. So, what does your body tell you?
Stop it. My body tells me that the stretch is not great. It's not good. It's sore. I'm telling myself that it's a lovely sore, but it's not. It doesn't feel lovely.
So also with the stretch, just to share with you that you're pulling the tissue, and if you pull it too far, it's very difficult to find that rebounding quality back. Whereas with the expansion, you said that it was felt more integrated.
And soothing.
Yeah.
Soothing. It feels like you're opening everything. I can only think of how my lungs feel, as if they're opening and all the air, there's so much air, there's space for more air.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. It feels like everything is opening.
Thank you that was great. Thank you, Z. And just to kind of share that pandiculation works with the auxetic nature of fascia. A biotensegrity model of movement is an expansion and not a pull and a stretch. So I hope that's something that you experienced. When Z was lying down, we hadn't gone through the body yawn. I would normally take someone through the urge, the pause, and then the sigh. So you did really great. We got there. So thank you for joining me again.
Thank you.